Yeah.
Before we get started, remind me to push the record button.
I will.
People will let you forget. That, I might forget that part. Sound.
Yeah, you literally.
What is it?
Yeah. No. When? I'm actually getting ready to start a Parks and Rec meeting, but this sounds more important. Tell me what you know. What? When? I'm not ready. I can do that. That's a quick and easy way. Okay, I'll walk you through it. I'll walk you through it in the morning, okay? Okay, all right, thank you. Bye.
You okay?
Not ready for that.
Am I having a baby?
No, that would be easier.
I know Cedric's not coming. Who else is not here? Oh, Jackie. It's hot there. There's enough of us here. Can we push record? Let's make sure it's
Red line.
Who
record.
would Nikki Cedric?
Yeah.
Okay, we're recording. We're recording.
Okay, roll call. We've got everybody here except for Cedric and Jackie. You have the minutes in front of you. I think we received a copy as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's, anybody see anything that needed to be added or corrected? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
On this motion.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay. All right. Okay, splash pad update.
Okay, I'm gonna breeze through some of this stuff so that we can work on our new business. There's a lot of stuff going on with the splash pad. Scott Anders and I had a meeting, and the school participation will be minimal, okay? COVID, and as far as their actual ability, very limited, but we got the grant because they're a STEM school, so they will be involved, just a minimal amount. Mike Lloyd, the ground is graded. They installed the drainage pipe today. It's got like for all the water that'll settle into one corner, has a way to drain out of the pad area. That's done. The only digging I need at this point is I need footers for what will be our building, septic tank hole, and the recovery tank hole. But work is going. I have ordered the components. Once the components get here, Keith McCafferty from Water is going to help me with the plumbing. He says that he thinks he has enough stuff there already that it's called PEX. I guess it's the new PCV pipe or whatever, you know, that where they've been saving the scrap pieces for small connections. Thinks we got enough to do that once he sees the component versus the pump, we'll know how to, and we'll measure how far the distance is, and then between Keith and me and Scott Anders and a couple of the kids at the high school, we're going to lay the plumbing, and then we will be taking bids on concrete.
You know about when?
Not exactly. It just really depends on when the components get here. You know, and they should be here the middle of this month, or, you know, is what I was told. So I expect any time that my components will end up, and then, like I said, we can then hold the nozzle, look at the pump and figure out how to connect the two, okay? And then make sure we got enough material and then do the plumbing. Now, concrete is what everybody's interested in right now because there's several people who want to bid on this. There needs to be some special consideration before the concrete gets poured because these special components, namely the tree, okay, can't just sit on the concrete, okay? It'll have to be secured to the concrete. And the Vortex people had led Thomas to believe that after the pad was built, we could just screw whatever we wanted right onto it. It's all fine and dandy. If we don't want to destroy our pad, we won't do that, okay? We're going to look for a different effort, either make preparations for the tree that's on the pad prior to the concrete being poured, or to pour a smaller pad on, I don't know if you've been to Columbia Splash Pad, but theirs is a 50 by 50 square, and their components sit on separate concrete pieces on the edge and shoot water onto the pad. That way it's not, you know, affecting your pad. And the tree's big, guys. It would require footers and special rebarb and special anchoring on the pad itself. Those are not in my plans, because it was a special consideration component that Vortex didn't care what we did after our pad is built. Okay? So, that's kind of a monkey wrench in my fan, but we are working around that, and we're going to make whatever preparations need be either off the pad, or it'll have to be formed up before the concrete's poured. Okay? So, haven't got that far yet. I had a grant workshop the other day as far as applying for any more money from LPRF or anything like that. This has to be completed and signed off on as completed. There is some like trail grants that are available, RPF, RTP. All grants next year are a maximum of 50% max. The RTP grants is a maximum of 20% of your total cost, okay? So that really is all I have on Splash Power now. We are moving forward. Stuff is being done. You know, we're going to get there, guys.
All right, Airline's Eagle Project.
The trail is finished as far as the young man is considered. He's done all he could really do. His signage is up. I don't know if y'all have been back there or not, but where you pass Arrow Mines before you get to the railroad track, off to the left, there's a little place where you can drive down where the power lines run. That's where the opening to the trailhead is right there, and there's a big sign that's dedicated to the boy who committed suicide. The reason why we allowed him to build the trail to begin with is there. And I've got the maintenance guys from the city, whenever we cut grass at Arrow Mines, we cut a little area down there, and I weed eat all up and down there, and about once a month, you actually have to weed eat that trail. Something extra to do now, you know. But it's really nice, you know, and it's still got room for improvement. Speaking of RTP, I don't know, he's not going to be able to get the bridge that connects it to the actual park, okay? I would like in the future for us to consider moving along with that, looking into an RTP grant, because it's only about trails and stuff, and see what kind of assistance we can get. I know the in-kind donations are considered, and maybe I can get the power company to donate the poles, but invoice me for them, kind of like with the splash pad. That's so much money. And they're only going to give me 20% of the total cost of the project anyway, but I would like to see it realized at some point in time.
So he just doesn't have the time, or?
Money, I think, became an issue, money and time. I mean, he's fixing the Eagle Scout out. He had to have it finished by September, so
Right.
he's done.
I was
okay?
saying time. I thought-
Time more than anything.
Yeah.
They were raising money to purchase the poles at cost from the power company. I'm thinking maybe in time that maybe I can get a couple of poles, you know, at no cost, but have them give me what they would have cost and try to get that matching money. I know it won't be a lot, but it shouldn't take a lot of money to build a primitive style bridge. It doesn't have to be ADA accessible. I've already talked to Robert about it. It's a walking trail. It's
And
a
the
primitive walking
the poles
trail.
were like old power poles, or?
They are power poles. That's what we're going to utilize. That's what the original intent was, to lay two poles across the Sugar Creek, okay? To use anchor straps, the kind of like what you would use with a mobile home when you run that big thing down to the ground. It's just a big screw that goes down, and you put a metal strap around that pole and ratchet it down. That would hold the poles in place. No concrete required. And then you can lay treated 2x across the top of the two poles and build you some rails. Robert has mentioned that where the trail ends, which I've been confused a lot about the name of that road. I think it's actually East Church where that road ends up. It's not Briscoe or any of that other stuff. Not really, I don't think it is. When you drive down East Merchant, it winds around that corner. That's where that little access is, and it's only about yay wide. It's piece of concrete, poured over 2 I-beams for like a railroad track, and it's got one kind of handrail on it. Robert's more concerned with that than anything, okay? That is definitely not ADA accessible, and it's only got one handrail on it, you know, so, and that's a far drop down to the creek from that one location.
I guess I didn't
Yeah,
realize
so-
there was even an entrance over there.
So at some point in time, that might end up having to be addressed by us as
And
well.
covered up with
You couldn't
trees
even
and wooded
see it,
area, that you
yeah.
wouldn't know that until it's opened up for
Yes,
trail.
exactly. I don't know if that bridge has been there for a long time. I mean, obviously there was a trail of some kind at some point. There was a reason why that bridge was built over Sugar Creek into nowhere, okay? So, but he's having a dedication ceremony on October the 4th over at the community center. They're going to present him an award for having Eagle Scouted out and having completed his trail. So that's taking place then. So, and that pretty much will finishes up the Aerial Mines project. So that will be removed from unfinished business next time.
All right, the Columbia American Legion.
Talked to Lindsay about that. I finally got a hold of Mr. Williams about his insurance paperwork. He has sent me the insurance paperwork. He says there must have been some miscommunication. His original intent was to use that spring of 2021. Okay? He thinks it's going to take plenty of time to get that field ready, which he's not mistaken there. I mean, the field's in dire need of some love and care. I have people calling me on a regular basis, though, asking me about using it as a practice field. And the people who were trying to practice at the Dixie Youth Fields, they just wanted to show up out there and practice because the fields look great right now, so there was nobody using it. They thought they would just show up and use it, okay? And Blake Lovett, who's been awarded the field right now, told him no, they couldn't use it, that he needed to call me. And I talked to him and told him how it went down, how it works. He presented his request to me, I presented it to y'all, and if 4 out of the 7 say yes, then you get to use the field. But right now, all my fields are being used. Do you know Mr. Williams? And he said, yes, he knows him personally. I said, talk to him, because I don't think he's going to use it until the 21st, or until spring 2021. And if he's okay with you using it, I'm okay with him using it, if he'll cut the grass. I mean, it's knee high right now, you know, don't have enough manpower to get all the grass cut on a weekly basis, you know, so if I could find someone that would give it some TLC, I would love to have someone utilize that field, even if it's just for practice.
And I think Lee's planning on this fall getting the
He
field
is.
the way it needs to be. So
Yes, he's-
that's all gonna be good for us.
That was his intent, is to work on it over the fall, and then have it ready for spring 2021. So that was his intent. So right now, it's just not being used. This grass is growing on it. I weeded it, sprayed chemical around the fence line yesterday, and around the concession stand area, because it's really growing up really bad. And I got all that sprayed yesterday. I would love to have someone take care of it, help me out with it. So if this other guy who called you works it out with Mr. Williams, and they're okay with him them practicing on that field, my request was that they cut the grass and take care of that field. Do y'all agree?
So the next thing is though is, even though they're using it for practice, they need to show insurance to show that they have
Well,
insurance.
and he will. That's what, he still have to fill out a request form. I still need paperwork on him, and I'll still have to present it to y'all with the intent that he would only be using it until Mr. Williams took it over. Agree? I mean, that's something that's how I would word that with him. You can only use it until Mr. Williams takes over in 2021, and I would need proof of insurance, name of your association. Well, I need all that paperwork still. Correct? So that's where I am with them.
Well, who mows, not the field part, but who mows, like over at the Dixie Youth Park, like the area between the 2 fields?
City.
We do.
It's desperate, it's bad.
Not right now.
I just walked through it yesterday. It's this deep.
Oh, that's not nothing. Everything, all the other parts is over my knees.
But there's 3-year-olds walking through it to get
I understand
to
that,
the
Lynn.
field, and it's
I
up to their
understand that.
eyes.
And I have 6 people that work in the maintenance
All right,
department.
and we've got, and with the rains and the
Right.
sun, it's the whole city's that
Would
way.
they care if somebody helped mow?
No.
Okay.
No, I will not.
I had somebody to
And what I
ask.
did,
They didn't want to touch it without asking.
what I did the other day, prior to it raining, before last weekend happened, I weed-eated it past, because they couldn't get to it. So I weed-eated around everything, and weed-eated past to get from, like, the pavilion to the playground at Rotary, to get from this to this at the ballparks. I weed-eated the best I could
Yeah.
to make a trail.
You can tell it's been mowed because it's got dead grass.
Yes, that's why I
everywhere.
sprayed weed killer on all that.
But it's still, but people were asking, they didn't want to touch it because it was a city park without permission, so I'll tell them to mow away.
They can mow anything they want out there.
That's what I'll tell them.
And,
I mean, because there are lots, right now,
yeah.
there's lots of little kids over there playing.
Yes, and they're little girls playing, I know that, and that's why, and I tried to get Charlie and Charles to help me out, and we mowed all the practice area last week, we did that like Monday of last week,
Mhm.
and by Wednesday,
Yeah.
it needs to be cut again.
Right,
But they have garbage to pick up all over town, they got
I know.
brush to pick up all over town, so by the time they actually get a chance to help me, the best I can do is blaze through it real quick with the mower and then leave.
Right.
That's why I've been weed eating.
Well, I told them I would ask tonight to
Please
make sure
do.
it was okay.
That would
If you
make-
don't
that would
care if
make
they
my
can
life-
mow, I'll tell them to have at it.
Please
'Cause
do.
I think they're just some retired guys that would come over and help mow.
But I am also going to remove the Columbia American Legion from our unfinished business.
Okay.
Because, I mean, we've done all we can really do with that. I may present something else to y'all in the future about using that field prior to Mr. Williams getting it.
All right, shuffleboard.
These hall's been cleaned out, all those furniture's gone. It's immaculate, okay? The building's really worthy for renting and using it. It's a much better space now. Either side has seams all through it where the concrete was laid. I've asked Jan to please send someone out before she wastes any money on paint or anything, just send someone out to inspect the floor and make sure that on the teen center side, the East Hall side, there's enough space for two down the center, okay? We will pay cornhole on top of it and all other kind of things on top of your shuffleboard, so activities will be happening. She goes, that will be no problem. You can put stuff on it, furniture on it, she says, no problem. I said, but this got seams. You need to come and look at it because it's not perfectly level. And I don't know if your $600 budget is going to fix that, so she's going to have someone come out and inspect it. So that's where I am with that, and I haven't seen her yet. She was gung-ho until I told her to come on.
Okay, teen center.
Teen Center, I'm hoping to have open Monday, on the 14th. I interviewed a lady today. She's perfectly capable of handling the responsibilities that she worked at Dairy Gym. She's an adult. I don't think she would mind telling someone to stop. Don't do that. She's ready to come to work. I got to get with Sonia tomorrow and see if we can get her all situated so that we can open the center on Monday. I have a permission slip that after you sign in on Monday, and give me your name and your grade, I will send you home with a permission slip, a copy of the Teen Center rules, and a behavioral contract. And we'll name it something else other than a behavioral contract. And you can't come back until I have these documents. And on my permission slip, it says, do you have the authority to leave the building, or do you have to stay till your parents pick you up? Been talking with some other people who do some programming type stuff, and I think it might be better that I keep things on one side of the building, really, and not let the free-for-all of all of it. Keep it dedicated to the teen center side. I have two portable basketball goals that we used when we first opened the teen center that kind of got ragged out, and we have them over at the maintenance department with some new backboards for them. I'm going to put them together and think I'm going to roll them out of the teen center onto the teen center parking lot, because that's what the intent had originally been, to put them out on the parking lot so that kids can play out in the parking lot. Thinking about doing something like that and focusing it on just that East Hall side, where I can keep a better grip on what's happening. Problem is, Miss Henry said there was a big complaint because kids showed up to the teen center, they're signing in, and their parents show up to pick them up, and they're not there. Where are they? I don't know. You sign my child into your building, but then you can keep up with them. Well, there's 100 doors in that building. They're all over the place, you know, and I can't lock them down because of fire code and whatnot. So there needs to be someone to monitor and maintain what's happening in there. I think it'd be easier to do if I condense it down to one side. The mezzanine, the center, and then one side. And if we're going to have a big activity day, like maybe volleyball one day or something, I'll close the teen center side down and have the West Hall open, and we'll play volleyball and basketball. And if you don't want to really participate in that, you can sit in the lobby and wait for your ride, you know. It's not going to be a free-for-all anymore. It's going to be a more structured program. But right now, we're going to just open it up and try to get the kids back in, get my permission slips back, and get my behavioral contract signed that says that you will appreciate this building and take care of it. It's your building. I'm here for y'all. You know?
The kids can't come and go, can they?
They can right now. There has been no one stopping them, Kate, and that's the problem. They're coming in.
If they have permission to leave, I'm fine with that, but I don't want them going back. What's it called, no pass out?
Yeah, once you leave, you're kind of out. But see, what's happening, I think, is they're going out to the East Hall and the West Hall doors when they're in these buildings, and no one's aware that they're leaving.
Mhm.
What's
Okay.
the time that you're gonna have it?
3 to 5. My help will be there from 2:30 to 5:30, because I know not everybody leaves exactly at 5. And that way we have a chance to get prepared for any programs that we might have in the future. Like I said in the beginning, right now, we're trying to just get back on track with things.
Now, if school shut, if school goes completely remote, what
Then-
happens to the teen center?
Then we will shut down as well.
We shut down as the school shuts
Yeah.
down.
And I talk to Mr. Jackson, Ryan, and Tim pretty regular, back and forth email with the cases at the school and how they're handling things. Like, they're having all their after-school activities, I think I'm correct, like right after school, so the kids don't have to leave, and they're already been temperature checked and they're there. That's kind of the same way I feel. Once you get to the center, until your ride gets there, you really ought to be at the center, you know? And if you don't want to be at the center, then don't come, you know? But it's not a place to run wild and make a mess and leave it for me to clean up, you know, which was basically what was happening, you know? And Clark and Kane, great kids, but they were just that, great kids, and it's hard to get a kid to tell another kid, don't, and get the kind of respect that you need. I think Missy will do it much that she's an adult. You know, she will say, and she's good with customer service, so I think she'll handle the approach diligently, and, but I'm ready. I'm ready. The kids are ready. Every day after school, I get 15, 20 kids that hang out there till about 4:30 waiting on the ride anyway, and they're desperate for the center to open back up, and I'm ready for it to open up as well.
Blue Cross Blue Shield grant.
The grant was submitted on 8/28. It was accepted as presented. Now we just have to be approved. So that's all I know about that right now. We're just kind of hanging out waiting.
All right. 5-year plan.
All right, guys. Y'all have a working copy.
I wasn't here for that, so I didn't get a copy.
Then we'll
I have
give
it,
you
hold
one.
on.
Yeah, I have one right here.
The extra?
I was ready, I have it.
Okay. The first thing, you know, as I go through the 5-year strategic plan that I draw attention to is community and stakeholder input, the things that people wanted, okay? Restrooms in all the parks. Well, we got one at at Howard and at Gardenia, okay? Which are locked all the time. Don't know why we built them if regulated by use them, okay? I have started unlocking them. I'm going by and locking them back. The one at Gardenia Park has a key broke off in it, in the door, and I can't get the men's door open. I don't lock the girls at all. I go by every day, and I'll look at it. And people are using it, and it's okay. It's a place to use the bathroom. They want to take care of it as well, because this is where if I go to the park, now I know not everybody's going to treat it like that. I have had to go in there and clean up some mess that I didn't really want to. But only once so far, since I've been doing this. Paper is there. It's not in the sink, you know what I mean? And listen, the girls' bathroom is not locked. The boys' bathroom is locked, and I can't get it open. I'm going to have to break the doorknob off with a sledgehammer, I think. Okay? Talk to Wally about it. We don't really know what else to do.
And we talked to our key guys.
It's got something broke off in the keyhole, you know, so...
Can't imagine it's been the first time they've dealt with that.
I will call, Alan, is it Alan?
David.
David's Lock and Key. I will call David's Lock and Key and find out tomorrow.
Don't know, you might be right, it might be a sledgehammer.
Depending on what it is, sometimes they can.
But the parks that are getting used the most don't have a bathroom, okay? We put bathrooms at Howard Field that nobody uses, okay? We put one at Gardenia that didn't have a lot out there yet, so it's barely getting used. It's getting used some. I have to empty the garbage daily, and I check the bathroom daily, okay? And there's garbage in my can every day, so people there's a older gentleman that walks the trail every morning, I see him out there every morning. There are people using it, so the bathroom does need to be available. There needs to be a bathroom at Arrow Mines Park. That's the one that there is a lot of activity at. There's events taking place down there. There's people playing basketball out there almost every afternoon. There's people out there all the time, and there's not a bathroom, okay? In our strategic plan, it had mention of a porta potty being put out there. Well, I don't want that at all. So I don't have to clean it. I don't like cleaning the bathrooms. I definitely don't like to clean a porta potty, okay? So yeah, it was part of the list of the stuff we were going to do was a porta potty. We need to consider really moving forward with the bathrooms. Really should have probably been put there and at Rotary Park, because Rotary Park is used a lot. And there's a sign on the pavilion that I'm fixing to get taken down that says the bathrooms are at the ball fields, which are always locked. Okay? So it needs to be a bathroom out there if you're gonna,
Well, the reason those bathrooms are always locked is because there's not very much traffic. The toilet's always
Understand
stocked
that.
up. But teenagers was doing stuff that they shouldn't have been doing and leaving their evidence in
I understand, I
there.
heard all about that. I
Yeah.
heard all that, and now that I've been going by there pretty regular, and going by there and sweeping the bathrooms out and taking there's like, some sunflower seed cans or something in there they're using as garbage cans. Every time I've gone by there, they're full of paper. So people are putting paper in those cans, they're just not coming out of the bathroom with it, you know? So I go by there, I don't care if you lock the men's door, all you just push on it real hard and it opens right up, okay? Blake had to call me because there are no keys to the doors, I can't find keys anywhere, and the girl's bathroom was locked. So we couldn't find a key. He didn't have a key, I have a million keys, and I do not have a key to that bathroom. Okay? So, I broke into the bathroom. Okay?
They hang up by the door.
They used to be hanging by the door on a hook. There
Well-
should be fixed bathrooms.
And it may be, but I don't have a key, okay? And so I couldn't go down there and unlock it for Blake, I had to break in, and I got in the door, I got it unlocked while I was in there, I cleaned it up, and there was nothing wrong with it, okay?
Steve used to have to, because he's the one that,
The locks have been getting changed so often down there, and they're putting hasp on it with padlocks, the locks are all changed. Because I have a million keys down there that aren't labeled with anything, and I took handfuls of keys out there in the rain trying to unlock for Blake, and finally took a crowbar and broke into the bathroom.
see, we also had a problem when the construction people was there. They were using it. We had to have the men's bathroom pumped 3 times because they were cutting up their underwear and flushing it down the
Now,
toilet.
your bathrooms at Dixie U, okay? I don't care if they stay locked, okay? Because there really shouldn't be anybody out there at that field unless they're playing baseball, okay? So I'm okay with y'all's reasoning for that. But if I have a bathroom at Gardenia Park, which is a public park, from dusk till dawn that is open, the bathrooms need to be open. I need to have a bathroom at Arrow Mines Park, and I need to have one at Halon Wall Park. These are where people are gathering with their children to have family fun, and there's no place to use the bathroom, okay? And I know we, for whatever reason, chose where we did, but it seems like we really put the cart before the horse. They really should have been put where their parks were being used.
Well, I will say at the time when we did it, that, the Howard Field was being used as much, if not more, than Dixie U.
Okay.
And Arrow Mines had major improvements.
Arrow Mines was nothing but just full of junk and trash, and nobody used it. So it was very well thought out,
Yeah.
and was probably the most needed of any bathroom anywhere,
Was Howard Field?
was Howard Field.
And Arrow Mines now.
Arrow
You
Mines,
see it now, but it wasn't then.
not, then,
Yeah.
it was, I would have never thought anything, I mean, I would have thought it'd have been the last thing.
Things just changed over the course of
Yeah.
a couple of years, so.
Well, and if Howard Field starts getting used, same way with the dog park. I mean, I go by daily, and people are picking up dog poop and putting it in the receptacles daily. There are people using that. So it'd be nice if my dog is at the dog park and I gotta go really bad, that I could walk over there and use that bathroom. You know, it's the same reason, it's at a public park, you know, so Howard Field is another one that I don't mind going by in the morning, when I drop my kids off at school, and unlocking these things, so that they're available for use. And then in the evening, when I get finished at my spin class, the teen center at 5:30, then I will go back by all the parks once again and lock them back, you know, as part of my responsibility. I just think if we're gonna offer someone a building, if we're gonna spend taxpayer dollars to build a bathroom, we let taxpayers use it. That's the kind of comment I get thrown at me, you know, stuff. It's like, I paid for that bathroom, why can't I use it? And they're kind of right. So, I think,
Tonight, we were gonna set a date to work on it. That's
Yeah.
what I had in mind.
so as I've been going through all these, as well as, I know we're running out of time, as I've gone through all this, we've done a lot of this stuff, guys. You know, there's a lot of the splash pads getting done, dog park was done, there's 2 bathrooms at the parks, a lot of it's being done. Tetherball. It says in here, I have tetherball, that it was paid for. Did anybody know anything about that? I asked Donna about it, she says that she thought we had poles and that the balls were bought, or we had money or something, do we know anything about that?
Had some commissioners volunteered to pay.
Miss Blankenship
Yeah.
is going to purchase a couple of that.
And I think Mayor Bailey at the time.
I will install them if we had them.
It's in the minutes of the meeting. Yeah.
They may be sitting somewhere.
Then I asked Donna, did she know, and she told me I should ask you guys. And I was like, well, I was one of these guys, and I don't remember anything. I know everybody talked about it.
I think at commission meeting, people stepped up and said that they would pay for it. Mayor Bailey, Bill White, Dolores, so it's all in the minutes.
I know I pulled, quotes for some, but I don't know if anything was done with them, from that information.
So we just need to figure that out and go ahead and make those purchases. I don't think anything's been purchased.
Well, as you get into the back of the 5-year strategic plan, and y'all move forward, set a date that you want to do this to work on, we can pick a date. But as you go through there, what I've done is I put check marks and question marks, okay? Check marks for things that were done already. Question marks for things that were supposed to be done, and then I left things blank that just haven't happened as of yet. And Clark Park said all this was done. It says that there was cleanup, it says there was paint, tetherball, 2 picnic tables, and a trash can. There's none of that. Okay? None of that's out there. Okay? Clark Park's a really nice little park. It's got a great swing set. It's a newer swing set. It's got monkey bars. It's got a basketball pad that's was covered completely with glass. It's being cleaned off now. It's ready to use. The park looks good. It needs a picnic table. There's a bench out there that's the tree roots growing up underneath it, and it's kind of messed the bench up. It needs a picnic table, which I have extra. Just need to get one over there, and a garbage can over there. And that park's pretty much well finished. It needs a new basketball goal on the pole. You know, it's got the pole's in the center of the pad, and it was structured to have a goal on either side of the pole, so you can play half court from either side. That's how it was built. It's kind of odd, but it needs goals on it. But it was supposed to be a tetherball there too.
My one says Miss Speed was the one
Yeah.
that was.
So, yes, and none of that stuff is there. So, I want to talk to these people and tell them to make good on the things they said. You know, Ms. B, would you please give me the money for or please go buy a tetherball set and bring it to me and I'll install it. I'll put up the grills at Rotary Park. I don't mind doing the work, guys. I just need something to have, you know.
I know we did a big cleanup there too, but that's probably 3 years ago.
Oh, I'll clean it since then. It looks good.
But I mean, like, you know, it's got wood to the back of it, you know. I know we went out there, the city did, and we did some cleanup, but it's not regular maintenance. It's gonna be back and.
It's like the walking trail that Dominic built. If it's not done on a monthly basis, then it won't be a walking trail anymore. It'll be a section of woods, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I told him after all the hard work that he put in and all the volunteers put in, that I would put it as part of my routine to spray, chemical spray down the path and to weed eat along the edges of it once a month, you know, during the summer. You know. And I will stand true to my word to him because he worked really hard on that. And it looks really nice, guys. It's a nice little trail. But as you go through each one of the pages, and it has stuff, Arrow Mines Park, once again, tetherball, donated, Dolores Blankenship. It's not there. It says it was going to be done 2017 and 18. You know, we're in 20. Hadn't been done. You know, Howard Field, as far as I'm concerned, it's done. Howard Field's been done. It just needs someone to call it home. You know, dog park, done. Need some trees. I'm trying to get with the forestry division to see if I can get some free trees. I'd like to plant some more trees at the dog park and at,
What would you like?
I'd like some willow trees for Rotary Park along the ditch there, because over the past several years, they've been, for lack of time and manpower, they've been spraying weed killer in my ditches. All the vegetation goes away, the ditches erode, now all the dirt's washed into the culvert that leads it to the other ditch, and it no longer flows, it spreads out. So it's over by the swing set, it's over by my disc golf, there's nothing but a swamp back right there. They can't get a piece of equipment in there to dig my ditch out. It'll probably be winter till we can get that fixed. But yes, I would like some willow trees to plant along that bank, and at the dog park, I guess whatever grows tall fast for shade, a shade tree. As far as Halong Wall Park, guys, I would really like to move the disc golf that's there already. Doesn't get used. It's becoming an eyesore out there. All it does is grow weeds around it, and no one uses it because it's in a swamp. I've had people, when I was still working at the bank, say that they are on a professional disc golf, not professional, I don't guess, but a disc golf team, and they drive from Mount Pleasant and live here to Lawrenceburg to play on their disc golf, or to Columbia to play up at the college, they have a disc golf there. They said they try to use ours, but it's no fun and it's in a swamp. I would like to move it to Gardenia Park, down along the backside, not where we're doing the grant work, but there's a rolling hill, there's some big rocks out there in the middle of that grass, and there's nothing there. It'd be a much better place to play disc golf. And it was donated by Arrow Lake, so I don't think they really care where it is. I think they would hate to think that their money is being wasted, so if they're not concreted in, they're just anchored in, I would like this winter to move them to Arrow Mountain Park, or to Gardenia Park, if y'all are okay with that. I think it'd get used. But if you look at Halong Park as well, I mean, most of this stuff has been done. The creek's been cleaned out to the far as I could clean it out, okay? The mulch in the playground was delivered, but that needs to happen again already. They did the mulch in fall of 2017. Mulch was put in that playground. That's 3 years ago. I need mulch again. You know, so the 5-year strategic plan, we started really strong, and then, you know, it seems like we've got a lot of things done. Now we just need to be looking at our next 5 years. And then the Gardenia one, the only thing that I really have to say about Gardenia that's not going to be incorporated with the grant is a basketball court. I'm out there quite a bit, and there's a couple of guys that have approached me about getting a basketball court out there. I think it would be used. Scranberry has talked with some people that might be willing to donate. They were going to build a couple of pavilions and a basketball court. If I get this grant for Gardenia Park, it's going to leave a desperate need for parking, some more parking out there. And Jackie and I had discussed, since they were willing to build a couple of pavilions and a basketball pad, maybe they'll build a basketball pad and some more parking pad for me. You know, so she and I are working on that. Well, basically Jackie's working on that. She's gonna let me know what she hears about that. The community center, if y'all look at the page that it had there, it said basketball goals. I have ping pong tables. I had 2 or 3, but they're trash. They got trash. No supervision in the center. Everything you have in there becomes trash. So I have one ping pong table now that's built off a 4x4 post and a big piece of plywood. You couldn't break it if you wanted to. A pool table, which, because people have tried to move it so many times, it's becoming kind of ragged. And a foosball table that's useless. The only reason why I didn't get thrown away the other day when they picked up all my furniture is because it was more than a truckload when they left. It was heaped up over the top. I have everything moved to one side. You can still use the ping pong, you can still use the pool, and the whole building is open now. You know, so I don't know if I'll put any more stuff like that in there. You know, it's 2 hours a day, guys. You know, and in 2 hours a day, I have other activities that we can do. Jackie and I were discussing the other day about getting some people up there to help with tutoring. I'm going to put up some signs this week coming up that say, do you need help with schoolwork? If so, please let me know, and maybe I can help get someone up there, even another child or an adult up there that can help them with, I can't help with new math. Definitely won't be any help at all. But I think those needs to be some of the services that we offer there for the 2 hours while we're actually doing it, and it's not going to be just a free-for-all. Some structured activities to go along with that. No more teen center in the summer either. I don't think it's going to be warranted. I would like to have more programs in the summer. Summer fun days in the parks, the water slide at multiple locations, not just the center. I know we discussed some of this last week. A long time till next summer though. So when would y'all like to work on the next 5-year plan? What day would y'all want to come in an extra 30 minutes or so? One day instead of coming in at 5:30, come in at 5?
I thought we talked about starting that in January.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
So January?
I thought we talked about starting that in January, yeah.
If y'all would then, between now and January,
And also, I mean, what we kind of did last time is we kind of kept our parks meetings to like 30 minutes, and we focused like an hour from like 5
I
to
agree.
6 on strategic plan. And we just kept, and it,
kind of what we did today.
you know, just did like our 30-minute, like kept our meeting quick and fast and moving.
Kind of what we did today, and the only thing else I really got, guys, is the next thing on your list. If we're finished with, we're going to do, what day in January do you want to pick?
Our meeting day.
Yeah,
meeting day?
our meeting day.
So we'll do it at 5 in
Yeah.
January,
January 13th.
January 13th at 5 p.m. we'll keep the meeting short and we'll,
And it may be best to do the meeting from 5 to 5:30.
Uh-huh.
Is that okay to change the meeting time?
I think we should probably advertise it,
okay.
yeah, put notice out.
And then we can do the strategic plan from 5:30 to
And that way, if
6:30.
anybody wants to participate in the strategic plan, they can be here too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got most of these things from the town hall meeting we had, where people put the little post-it notes on things. I think that's how a lot of this,
I'd have never thought anybody needed a dog park. I've lived here a long time, and there's dogs everywhere, but I was like, I mean, that just blew my mind that so many people wanted a dog park.
I can't believe they're popping up everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
but at the
it's obviously
time,
a thing.
I'm telling you, at the time, to know that was the number one thing that Mount Pleasant people wanted, I was like, who wants a dog park? You know, now they are, it's the going thing or whatever, but
I don't know if you
no, I
noticed,
have no idea.
in the beginning, Victoria and I talked about this in the beginning, spin was madness. There was people waiting in line to get on the bikes, you know? And over time, that kind of faded out. It was like a fad with people. I think dogs are pretty long-lasting. I think it might last. Spin is starting to pick back up.
Well, I think COVID had a lot.
COVID had a lot to do with spin.
Yeah.
And the consistency, our instructors became very inconsistent, okay, as far as having instructors that would actually show up and have a class. We have Spin TV. There's an instructor on the TV, and they're qualified, professional instructors. It's really pretty good. A few of the people that have used Spin TV, not everybody likes it, you know, but not everybody likes everybody's class. There's some people who don't like Will's crafts class. There's some people who don't like Dwayne's class. There's some people who don't like Carrie's class. They go to the other ones because they don't like that one. Not everybody likes the Spin TV. But some of the instructors on Spin TV are becoming, I liked him. He was all right, you know. Oh, I liked her, you know. So I'm starting to listen to some of these programs to find out which ones are high impact, intense, and which ones are kind of low key. The ladies who showed up today, I was kind of like, what do y'all want? Okay? Do you want just driving hard for 45 minutes, or, oh no, don't want that. So I have a 28-minute class here that's kind of, you know, sweating to the oldies kind of thing. That's my speed, you know. And she just was good, you know, and they enjoyed it. You know, there's only 2 of them, but if I consistently do it, day after day, I think my numbers will start picking back up because it's consistent, you know.
Halloween haunted trail.
Halloween, guys, is coming up, and historically we've done haunting in the square. I don't know with COVID and stuff how well, you know, this stuff will be received, and the square is kind of congested when we do it there. There's a lot of people that gather, and it's because we're limited to our space where we set up our little booths, where we hand out our candy. So the trail around the center is very long. It's very spread out, and you could put a little booth or a tent, because it's Saturday, every so often around that trail. We could advertise it, send out stuff to the school, blast it on Facebook. We're pretty ready to go with this if y'all are okay with it. To ask some of the local businesses to come back to work on Saturday for a couple hours, from like 4 to 6 maybe, before it gets too terribly dark, because there's not a lot of lighting out there around the trail. And set up along the trail on different spots to hand out candy. You can
Kind of like the social distancing.
to social distance. In this time of social distancing, come trick or treat at the haunted trail. And along the way where we set up a booth, you could make it scary, you know, put some spider webs on it or whatever you want to do, but decorate your little booth and hand out candy there. We thought that might be better than trying to do it at the square this year. What y'all think?
I'm good with it.
So instead of coming up here to help out with popcorn and stuff,
We'll just do popcorn there.
we'll do popcorn center. We'll start at the center, you know, and then you can go along the trail, you know, and we want to use that trail for more things, you know, during COVID. We wanted to do like an information walk one day. I have water bottles that came along with the water filling station that we got. I need to find a way to give those away. You know, it was supposed to be for the grand opening or the ribbon cutting of our water filling station. Because of COVID, that never really happened. Kind of like National Night Out, none of these things get to happen because of COVID, because of limited space. If it was on the trail and you start here and you walk the trail and ended up back here, you know, and along the way you would have a fire safety tent, a police tent, and along, because you can put those spread about along that trail.
I think it's a good idea. I just know we'd have a hard time getting businesses here after work on
gonna be a hard time getting business here on Saturday this year.
Yes, so I
Okay?
guess that's just my thing. I mean, I think we need to prepare for it to be us, and if other people come, I mean, yay, hey, and they can have a spot, but we probably need to secure the front little area for us, and then if other people come, they can spread on out down through and have, I mean, there's plenty of space for them. I mean, it's hard to get people to walk across the street.
And I figured as a city, as we could, you know, I mean, I've
Yeah.
got, you know, police and fire, I'm sure I can get them to participate and have a tent, you know, and
Yeah.
hand out some candy there, and maybe even the other departments here at the city. I can get us to participate. I'll talk to the girls at the bank, and I'll talk to Valerie at Heritage, I'll talk to some people and say, look,
Yeah.
you know, I'll be there to help. So I'll be there all day Saturday, come early, I'll help you get set up early, and then send a volunteer to help hand out candy, you know, I mean, if you get
I mean,
decorations,
and the
I'll help
biggest thing
decorate.
is just having multiple kids, I mean, kids don't care to get a sticker that night. They don't care to get they want candy.
They do.
And even if it's our candy and we just put a little bit at each tent,
Mhm.
they just want to get the candy, you know, and we can give them some of that other goodies at the tent.
I know last year at the bank, we had about $200 worth of candy that I got in my budget that we were able to give out. I'm sure Tanya can get that same, and I know Heritage had candy.
Yeah.
Some of these churches that do stuff, might be worth asking them to come, because they're gonna be faced with the same thing. Y'all are gonna be trying to hand out candy in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know, come to the trail, there's plenty of places to park, East Hall, West Hall side, and then walk the trail. The kids actually have to walk from booth to booth. You know, and you can kind of hold them back a little bit so they're not all piled up on each other. You know, if you start it right there in the center, you know, and then have somebody on each, you know, say, no, come this way, funnel them around, and try to keep some structure to it, you know, and keep them going in this direction so that they end up at the other side, you know.
Usually, the last several years, I have a letter that we sent out. Usually we do this on the fly. We do it like 2 weeks before, because for whatever reason, we get busy and we do it like 2 weeks before. The last few years, that list has grown. I personally feel that with it being on a Saturday and only being for 2 hours, in my opinion, I think we have a better chance planning early and having a bigger turnout than we would in the square. Regardless of if we have it in the square or if we have it at the center on the walking trail, the same thing stands, it's going to be a Saturday. That's regardless of anything else. It's going to be a Saturday. The people aren't going to be at their businesses working at that time, period. So the same chance of having people come out, whether it be in the square or the walking trail, is the same chance. It's
I agree.
the same percentage.
I don't feel like anybody said anything about it being at the, I mean,
The location's fine.
I think the
Yeah, well,
location's fine.
no, and what I mean, I guess, is, I know somebody had commented they were afraid that with it being a Saturday, and I know it's something that's kind of been talked about, with it being a Saturday, are we gonna have the same turnout? I think we have a chance at a better turnout than the years past because it's a Saturday.
Well, I don't have a bunch of kids, for certain.
Yeah.
People
And I'm
might have
not
other
opposed
plan
to-
though, that's where you're gonna fall into.
And
It
if
is a Saturday.
individuals, April, I think you would agree, if I wasn't part of this organization as a involved community, an involved citizen that tries to support my community, I would leave my house and set up my little booth for trick or treat along that trail. I don't want to have too many people here either. That would be my next thought, is that if I open it up to everybody, I'll have everybody in Mount Pleasant down here on this trail trying to set up a tent, you know? So I need to walk it off, see how many real tents I can get out there and how many spaces I really have available. And I would love to fill them all, but I would like to have enough space between each one so that it's truly socially distanced, you know? That we look like we're really trying to do our part to,
So some people like come out and do that, because, hey, they don't want all these people at
at their house either. I want the same thing, you know?
I don't want all these people coming up to my door, so I
How many
might go over there
times-
and set up a tent for a couple hours.
How many times I bought candy at where I lived and didn't get anybody show up? Because I've lived in places where, you know, it was a dead-end street or where, and then nobody show up, and then I gotta eat all this candy for the next month, yeah? So, I'm thinking if we have enough time, that if I can get some flyers and get some things out, and get some blasts on Facebook, and get some things saying that we're gonna do this, then I think we'll have an okay turnout. And, if y'all are okay with
A
it.
rain plan.
Rain
Well,
plan?
that's the beautiful thing about it being at the center, is
Inside.
the center's right there. There's no change of venue, there's no, oh, it's not in the
I
square,
thought about that
come to
too.
the center.
I could still social distance a certain amount of people in East and West Hall and in the center building, okay? I mean, within each hall, I could probably put 6 booths in each hall, well, maybe 6 in the East Hall and maybe 10 in the West Hall and 2 in the mezzanine.
think.
and one out under each canopy, I could probably get just as many people in the building and keep them somewhat socially distanced as well, you know?
So are you
Problem.
still limited on how many people can be in a building?
100 people is what we had talked about for events. So if you're having people come through one side, walk
And
through
out the other.
exit the other, it shouldn't
Shouldn't be that many
I
people.
shouldn't ever have more than maybe 30, 40 people in at a time,
Yeah.
plus the volunteers, which would get about 60, 70 people in there at one time. But if we keep them flowing through there, and then push them out, let in the east hall door and out the west hall door, you know? Something similar. So if it rains, that would be my contingency plan. Do I need to vote on anything like that? I mean, as a commission, we should vote on stuff. I mean, is that what y'all, I mean, if y'all are okay with doing that, then what I'm gonna do is, the remainder of this week, I wanna get with Victoria and see if I can get our signage and our things ready to post, and let's make people aware of this. That way, next week I can start making calls on our businesses, let them know what we're gonna do. We're not gonna haunt the square this year because of COVID, but we will be haunting the trail.